Man, get up here in the Zoloft to get your head right.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you white privilege. Well, since Hillary Clinton wanted to present herself as brave and daring as she wouldn't be deterred from her first lady duties, even if that meant landing in Bosnia under sniper fire, which was a lie. But hey, since Hillary wanted to be under fire so bad, well, she's under fire now. But I guess that don't mean crap because she's got the bulletproof vest of white privilege. If you're a Hillary Clinton supporter yammering about white privilege, you are among the biggest hypocrites on the planet. So I gotta do some reiterating and some clarifying here. Because anybody who votes Democrat while whining about white privilege is a misguided, ill-informed, hoodwinked hypocrite. The racism that butt-hurting Americans are still angry about to this very day and will not let go of has been engineered by the Democrat Party. But you excuse Democrats for it. I don't understand how it is that you can still hold this gargantuan grudge about slavery, but you're loyal to the party that demanded to keep slavery legal and even went to war to keep slavery legal. And your excuse is that the Democrat Party has changed. They changed, or they switched sides, or they switched ideologies, whatever. So let me get this straight. America hasn't changed, but the Democrats have? The Democrat Party has been the apartheid party of America, and you vote for them. The ones who created the apartheid policies of Jim Crow were the Democrats. How is it that you can remain so angry about policies that plagued America long before many of you were born, but you don't hold that same anger for the very party that authored such bigoted policies? The overseers of white privilege have always been the Democrat Party. Now, I'm pretty sure that even people who have the biggest race-baiting chip on their shoulder know that all white people ain't racist. But you can tell which white people are racist by who they vote for. And when white people wanted someone to enact policies that would reflect the racist sentiments that they had, they voted Democrat. We want only white schools. Democrats. We only want paying jobs for white people. Democrats. We only want whites to vote. Democrats. In the 1800s, the Democrats were so angry at Republicans for abolition that the Democrats created the terrorist organization known as the KKK. You hate the KKK, but you embrace the party that created them, and you let them make you believe that they've changed. Everywhere you whiners of white privilege go to butthurt about white privilege, you'll find Democrats. The areas where you feel where blacks are the most disenfranchised, unemployed, undereducated, incarcerated, drug addicted, etc., they live in Democrat-run communities. The most violent crimes, the most gun crimes, Democrat-run communities. The most abortions killing off the black community, Democrat-run areas. But you keep voting for them because they make promises that appeal to what you think you're entitled to, and they pander to your anger. This has to be true because the very people that you let pander to your pain and anger are the very ones who burned you in the first place. See, this is what y'all haven't figured out about Democrats. The Democrats have always been about forcing someone else to make someone else of their selection comfortable. And you are part of that system. See, you're so blind with anger, entitlement, and greed that you don't even see that you're the same people who walked around with whips in the field. See, Democrats demanded slavery because Democrats believed that some people should be forced to work or even exterminated so that others could thrive. We have a term for that. It's called slavery. And you're so sadly blind because you don't even realize that the reason why you like Democrats today is because you want the Democrats to force other people to work or even exterminate people so that you can thrive. There's a word for that. It's called slavery. But you feel justified and entitled to that, don't you? Yeah, that was the same attitude Democrats had before the Civil War. They felt so justified and entitled to force other people to make them comfortable that they went to war to keep that legal. Before you neo-Confederates come on here running your keyboard mouth telling me that I need to learn how the history of the Civil War had nothing to do with slavery, I'm just gonna tell you I ain't trying to hear that. The Confederacy was represented by the Democrat Party, and I don't trust Democrats. Being the sore losers that the Democrats are, they took to the education system and have been pretty much running the education system. So why would I let Democrats whom I don't trust educate me about the Confederacy that was represented by Democrats who I don't trust? And even the Democrats at that time who didn't support the secession of the Confederacy still wanted to keep slavery legal. And what's the flagship argument that the neo-Confederates like to use to say that the Civil War wasn't about slavery? Black people fought in the Confederate Army too. Well, whoop-de-doo. So, you think that all these black people just happily fought in the Democrat-represented Confederate Army? You mean kind of like how black folks were happily drafted into the Army while Democrats denied them of civil rights and voting rights? So the Democrat-represented Confederacy had happy blacks in their army. And Jim Crow Democrats had happy blacks in their army during Vietnam. Okay, Democrats haven't changed. You want to tell me again why I'm supposed to be impressed because blacks were in the Democrat-represented Confederate Army? Oh, and don't get me wrong, some blacks may have been very happy to be in the army of the Democrat-represented Confederate Army. The very army that was going to war to maintain the so-called right to keep slavery legal. Now, if you desire proof that the war was about Democrats demanding to keep slavery legal, and you think it wasn't because blacks fought in the Confederate Army, I'll point you to what you can see today as blacks stand with Democrats even though the Democrats make sure that it remains legal to strategically position abortion mills in the black community to make sure they're the biggest target for their genocidal campaign of abortion. Democrats haven't changed. You want to tell me again why I'm supposed to be impressed because blacks were in the Democrat-represented Confederate Army? Blacks stand with Democrats even though the areas they run keep blacks in a state of arrested development. The most unemployed, the most high school dropouts, the most incarcerated, the most single mothers, etc. The black community still votes Democrat who still wants to control their vote and their population to keep them as a manageable voter stock on their plantation. And you think that I'm supposed to be impressed when you tell me that blacks fought in the Democrat-represented Confederate Army? The Democrat Party is at the core of white privilege. They caused it, and then they depend on your blind anger so they can accuse someone else of enjoying white privilege and act like they're against it. They pander to you to get your vote, and when you vote them in, you're just gonna get more of the same. And right now, you are looking at the Democrat high priestess of white privilege. Thank you so much for coming to get your refill from the Zoloft. And if you dig our sessions, I hope you'll visit my website, AlfonZoRachel.com, to see how you can support so I can keep the supply coming. White privilege!